Apparel, clothing that speak, always deliver the message. So this is an important time in our history. You know, the world is experiencing a paradigm shift that has been felt for the past few years by individuals that, are tapping into a higher level of consciousness. So this is something that is definitely been projectable. You know what I mean? It's definitely been something that is inevitable, where we have this paradigm shift, because the old habits or the old tools used to control people's mind and manipulate people's mind and keep them confined to a particular system is changing relatively fast. And to get a grips on it, you gotta shuffle the deck. You gotta throw things a little bit haywire and throw things a little bit off balance, so that they can re-gauge how the system needs to look moving forward, in that adjustment. And that's what paradigm shifts really do. But I think this one is very impactful. So a couple things. I am not saying that these particular things are bad to do, so don't come after me. What I am saying is we need to shift our focus from these particular things, because they are being sold to us as the solution, and they are, they're opportunity points to take advantage of. So the first one is the stock market. Stock market has always been an opportunity to put yourself in financial situations. You know what I mean? And there are very talented, crafty individuals that know how to play the short game, play it well. But that's not everybody. And then the short game ain't even built for everybody to win. That's one. And then there's the long game in the stocks and bonds. It's playing a long game, which is what I play. I just let it sit and I leave it alone. I don't tap dance, I don't move around, I don't shuck and jive around it. It sit and matures. You know what I mean? I believe in my initial vision, my initial investment. That's how I do the stock market. So for me, it's not a shuffle and move like 2020 has people shuffle and move in those particular realms. The other realm is real estate. And I've never been heavy in real estate, but I would tell you, if you look at the patterns in the way real estate operates, right, it's very, very easy to project that something very, very impactful can happen in the realm of real estate next year. Very, very can. And so when I sold my house because I knew this was the time. I was like, yep, it's time to sell this home. This is the perfect time to sell this home. Everything is gearing up. Everything's going up. I'm selling. I'm getting off of this rainbow ride, because it's looking like it's going to be past its expiration date. So everybody is telling people, get in real estate. You know what I mean? Like, fine, I got that. But when you telling people all you got to do is have a 580 credit score to get into real estate, people probably making a pretty risky investment from an individual standpoint. You know what I mean? Knowing that they got themselves in that particular situation of having a credit score under 600 to now put themselves in a 30-year liability when they haven't created 30 years of stability yet. I'm just saying, you know what I mean? And what happens when that system's crash? This same person, right, is the first person that's going to be waving the flag saying, hey, I can't do this, right? And then jeopardizing their credit, jeopardizing their situation, and they don't have a home. So knowing what I know about numerology, knowing what I know about particular systems and patterns within particular systems, it's not a good year to get into those realms or play into those realms with limited experience and knowledge, or just because someone's telling you to do it. You know what I mean? Because this is where we at in this time and age, where people are just driving information, hey, do this. And then because we're on these particular platforms more, it's becoming something that's embedded in our programming, in our subconscious mind. So I would tell you, those two things are not bad. Like, they are opportunities for sure. They've always been opportunities, and there are always going to be people that's going to be able to leverage those two particular systems to get great benefits, right? The third one is business, right? So everybody, get a business, right? But this is the problem with that. Like, and I'm a business owner, so I'm not shooting shots at any of these three: real estate, stock market, or business ownership. But this is not a good time to just start off a whim just because. I'm gonna do it just because. You know what I mean? I'm gonna get into the entrepreneur just because everybody's doing it. You know what I mean? Or I seen somebody that I know a long time ago do it, and if they could do it, I know I could do it, because I know the same thing they know. You know what I mean? But that's not the case, because what you do is you put yourself in a situation where you don't build a foundational business. You just start one, right? It's built on shaky grounds, right? And it's bound to be non-successful. And I'm not worried about I'm not too worried about people not starting business or starting a business. I'm worried about the individual that starts a business just because it's a trendy thing to do, and then fail at that business, right? And the mindset that they have to other people who started a business. Oh, what did they do it? You know what I mean? Like that, the animosity of them not succeeding versus somebody else succeed. And this is psychology, right? Because this happens on multiple levels in a lot of things. Like, you know what I mean? Like when we fail at something, we sometimes look at other people like, how did they do that? You know what I mean? And then we get discontent with that. You know what I mean? And that's the type of energy that I don't want to see being around. You know what I mean? I don't want to see that type of energy be around, because you're going to be seeing somebody that's been doing in business, that's been successful. You know what I mean? And you might have a sour mouth because you tried to start one in this particular time, in this particular realm, on shaky grounds, and it didn't pan out the way you want. And now you're looking at, you know, your comrade or your fellow brother and sister over there who's thriving. Is like, I ain't gonna support them. You know what I mean? So that's the energy I don't like with just starting a business off a whim. What really needs to happen during this particular time, and what people need to be projecting and sitting out saying this is should be the focal point, is doing the inner work. Being able to go to yourself and find who you are. Like, and when I say find, we talk about going deep. Tap into those skill sets. Tap into that gift, that purpose that you was given. That shit will monetize yourself money. You know what I mean? Why we fail in so many things is because the lack of knowledge of self. Like, if we knew self to the degree of perfection, everything outside of self will just manifest itself in line to that being. You know what I mean? But when we have a serious lack of self, we don't even know what we good at. You know what I mean? We just trying to do or emulate what other people doing. No, that's what they good at. That's not what you good at. You good at something else. But you too busy looking at all these other people that's doing what they good at, and you saying, how can I do that? No, you got to look within yourself and go in, do the inner work to find out who you are, so that you could come out and you could build those particular skill sets that's going to monetize yourself in a universal environment. No matter what the system you've been put in, certain skill sets will just always translate and monetize themselves automatically, without question, without any doubt. And so we going into the realm or the age of the creatives. So if you have a creative mind, you got to tap back into it. You know what I mean? Sometimes we got to tap back into the adolescence, you know, and adolescence could be a dark place for people, because most, and I say most because damn near every person, trauma is rooted in childhood, because that's when your brain is not mature enough to really identify particular pain, particular trauma, so it stores it. So as you get older, things happen in your life, and it ain't the things that's happening in life, it's you being triggered by that thing that happened to you way back when you was adolescent. You know, whether it was your parents, whether it was your sibling, whether it was something that was, you know, in your environment that you was living in, that really confined you or really scarred you to a level where you couldn't adapt to it. You couldn't identify it as trauma, and you just kept growing and building yourself around this particular womb. You know what I mean? And now you got this empty space that's easily triggered by any actions, you know, in adulthood. So it's important. We got to go dig and get the inner work. You know what I mean? Tap into the things that brought us joy before we worried about whether we was going to make money or not. Before we worried about, did I have to pay the bills? Where was that point of true joy and happiness rooted in? You know what I mean? Where did it come from? You know what I mean? And once we start to dig and peel back the layers and get into doing the real work, right, and really healing, we just gonna be chasing the bag. We're gonna be chasing the next person that tells us to do this or tells us to do that. You know what I mean? And we know in these particular systems, you know, it's a funnel. We know that only a certain amount of people are gonna get through that thing do it through that pathway before that thing tightens up and closes out. You know what I mean? And it could be the best blueprint to follow. Once the pipeline closed, you ain't getting through. Everybody ain't gonna be a millionaire. Everybody ain't gonna be a billionaire. The system ain't even designed that way. You know what I mean? So do what makes you happy. That's it. It's simple. Inner work. Find who you are. Then you'll find your skills. Find your passion. Find your purpose. GW Apparel. Coldness Speak. Always delivering the message. Peace.